Hi, I'm Alyssa, and in this video I will show you how to crochet a simple hat. Here are some of the materials you're going to need for a project like this. First, I suggest either having a tapestry needle, like the one shown on top, or a crochet hook for weaving in the ends at the end. You'll need scissors, and you'll need a crochet hook in the size depending on what yarn you're using. So I suggest between 5 and a 6mm hook. For this kind of yarn, I suggest finding a yarn that has more acrylic in it because it'll be able to go through the wash more. And when you're looking at the label of your yarn, it shows you the recommended hook size. And this one for this yarn skein is a 5.5mm hook or an eye hook. Anything that's higher hook size or anything like that will have more holes in it the farther away you get from the recommended hook size. Round 1. You will chain 2, then do 6 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Then slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch. The number in parentheses at the end of the pattern row indicates the number of stitches that you should have when you complete the row. This means by the end of round 1 you should have 6 stitches altogether. To start any crochet project, you're going to start with the slip knot. So you take your yarn in your hand and you're going to fold it in on itself. So it's going to look kind of like a Cancer symbol. Once you do that, you're going to turn it over back on to the yarn, and it'll look like a pretzel. Now you're going to take the piece through the little loop you created, and you're going to pull on the loop and on the smaller tail end of the yarn. Now if you hold on to the smaller piece of the yarn, you can pull. The loop will then get smaller so that it can fit on the hook easier. Once you've created the slip knot, you can insert your hook into the loop you've created. And pull on the longer piece of yarn to get it to fit onto the hook easier. Hold the hook with your dominant hand, and then you're going to hold the longer piece of yarn that's connected to the skein or ball of yarn with your fat hand. You're going to wrap yarn around the hook, and you're going to pull the longer piece of yarn through the loop. This is a chain. And for this pattern, you're going to chain 2. Keep tension with the yarn, and I always hold it with the other fingers that I'm not using. Another way you can hold the yarn better for keeping tension is to go over the pinky with the longer string and then go over the pointer finger. Then you can hold on with the other fingers of your hand at the base of the chain. After you chain 2, you're going to do 6 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. So insert your hook into the second chain, and then wrap yarn around the hook. Then pull through 1 loop. Then you're going to wrap the yarn around again, and you're going to pull through 2 loops. After you've single crocheted in the second chain from the hook, you're going to do 5 more single crochets in the same stitch. Once you've done your 6 single crochet, you're going to find the next stitch, insert your hook, and then you're going to wrap the yarn around, and then you're going to pull through all the loops. This is a slip stitch. Round 2, you're going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch around. You should have 12 stitches altogether by the end of this round. To start off with, I would use a safety pin or something like that to mark the last stitch in that next row. This way you don't have to worry about counting your stitches later on. Now you're going to single crochet 2 single crochet in each of the stitches around. To kind of show you what a stitch looks like, the yellow yarn marks 1 stitch. So when you're looking and counting how many stitches you have, you're going to look and they kind of look like hearts. They're 2 strings really close to each other. That's 1 stitch. So going back to the pattern, when you insert your hook, you're going to insert into the next stitch, so not the one closest to the hook. You already did a slip stitch in that one. So you're going to insert the hook, wrap the yarn around, pull through one stitch, wrap the yarn around, and then you're going to pull through 2 loops. Now, since you're doing 2 single crochet in each stitch, you're going to insert your hook into the same stitch. Then you wrap the yarn around, pull through 1, wrap the yarn around, and pull through 2. You're going to do this for every stitch in this round. When you get close to your marker, you're going to take it out, and you lay it somewhere, and then you're going to perform your last 2 stitches in that stitch. Now you're going to put your marker back in the last stitch that you just did. We can go back now and count the number of stitches we have in this row. So we should have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Round 3, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch, then you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. You're going to repeat this 6 times, and at the end of this row, you should have 18 stitches altogether. So, start by inserting your hook into the first stitch. And wrap the yarn around, pull through 1, wrap, pull through 2. Now you're going to do another single crochet in the same stitch. Then you're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch. You're going to repeat that 6 more times. When you get to the end of the row, you will once again remove the marker and perform the last single crochet in that stitch, and then you will put the marker back. Now for round 4, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then you're going to repeat that 6 times. By the end of round 4, you should have 24 stitches total. You're going to insert your hook into the first stitch. You're going to do 2 single crochet in this stitch. Now you're going to do the next single crochet in the next stitch. And that's 1. And then you're going to do another single crochet in the next stitch, and that'll be 2 stitches. You're going to repeat this 6 more times. When you get to the end, take out your safety pin or whatever marking you're using, do your last and final stitch in the row, and then you're going to put it back. Round 5, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch, and then you're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. You're going to repeat this 6 times, and by the end of round 5, you should have 30 stitches altogether. So to begin with, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch. So that's 1 single crochet. Now you're going to insert into the same stitch and do another one. Now you're going to do 3 stitches of just 1 single crochet. So this is 1, 2, 3. And you're going to repeat that 6 more times. Once again, when you get to the end of the row, you're going to take out your marker, do the final stitch, and then you're going to put the marker back in. Round 6, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch, and then you're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. You're going to repeat this 6 times, and by the end of the row, you should have 36 stitches. So to start round 6, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch. Now you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to do this 6 more times. When you get back to the stitch marker, you will once again take it out, perform your last stitch, and then put it back again. Row 7, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. You're going to do this 6 times, and by the end of this row, you should have 42 stitches in all. You're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in this first stitch. Now you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. You're going to repeat this all the way around, and when you get to the end, make sure you undo the marker you're using, you crochet your last stitch, and then you put the marker back. Row 8, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches, and then you're going to repeat this 6 times. By the end of this row, you should have 48 stitches total. You're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch. Now you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you're going to repeat this 6 times. When you get to the end, remember to remove your stitch marker, single crochet your last stitch, and then you're going to put the marker back. Row 9, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch, then 1 single crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. We'll repeat this 6 times, and at the end of the row you should have 54 stitches total. You're going to start with 2 single crochet in the first stitch. After this, you're going to crochet 7 just single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you're going to do this 6 more times, all the way around. As you start to get to the end of the row, remember when you get to that stitch marker to remove it and perform the last single crochet stitch. Then you're going to put the stitch marker back where it was in the last single crochet stitch of the row. Round 10, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch, then you're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. You're going to repeat this 4 times. Then you'll do 1 single crochet in each of the remaining stitches around. At the end of this row, you should have 58 stitches total. Once again, to start off, you're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in the first stitch. Now you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to repeat that 4 times. Now you're just going to do 1 single crochet in each of the remaining stitches. Row 11, you're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the stitches around. You should end up with 58 stitches total. Notice this number didn't change from the last round because we're not increasing or decreasing in this round. So you're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. When you get to the stitch marker, you're going to remove the stitch marker and do the last single crochet in that stitch. And then you're going to put the stitch marker back in the last single crochet stitch of the row. For rows 12 through 25, you're going to repeat row 11. Basically, you're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. You should end up with 58 total stitches at the end of each of these rows. Total number of rows that you're going to do is 14 more single crochet rows. After 5 more rows of the just single crocheting around, this is what the hat looks like. You can see the size of the hat as it is if you fold it down. After a total of 10 more single crochet rows, this is what the hat will look like. Folding it down, you can see how the hat is actually starting to form. After you're finished with rows 12 through 25, this is what the hat should look like. And this is what the hat will look like if you do 5 more single crochet rows, and this is only if you want the hat to reach the base of your ears. Now we're going to get into weaving in the ends of the yarn that are left. To finish off your hat, we're going to perform a slip stitch. So insert your hook into the last stitch, wrap the yarn around, pull through 1 stitch, pull through 1 loop. Now you're going to take some scissors and leaving a long tail, you're going to cut the yarn from the skein. Now you're going to wrap the yarn around, and then you're going to pull through the loop. You're going to pull it all the way so that it makes a knot when you pull on the string. Before we start weaving in the ends, you want to make sure that whichever side of the hat you want to be facing out, that when you weave in the ends, they end up on the inside so that no one can see them. I'm going to show you first how to weave in the ends just using a crochet hook. So you're going to take the hook and you're basically going to do a series of slip stitches. So insert the hook somewhere around where the tail is, and you're going to weave the piece of yarn through the hat. You want to weave it in a way where it blends in with these stitches of the hat. Watch where you're putting your hook though, because if you put it in the same way backwards, you're gonna undo what you just wove in. Now that we've woven in a good piece of it and we know it probably won't unravel, we're gonna take your scissors and we're gonna cut it, and we gotta leave a little bit of a tail just so that it's not pulled out when the hat stretches. Now I'm gonna show you how to weave in ends with a tapestry needle. You don't have to have one, but I think it works better if you use a tapestry needle because you can go through the stitches instead of having to go through the holes in between the stitches. So what you do is you're going to insert the yarn into your tapestry needle. Make sure to tie a knot so that it doesn't come undone. Now start by inserting the needle somewhere close to the end of the yarn. You'll want to weave it in as much as you can, trying to go through as small holes as you can to try to make sure it doesn't come undone later on. At least with the needle, you can go literally in between the stitches. So what I always do is I go in between a couple of them, and then I'll go back through one part of the stitch 3 times, almost to build a knot. So I'm going to do it here. So I did it one time, and I'm going to go back through the stitch again, so I can get as close as I can to it. That's 2. And then I'm going to do it a 3rd time. Now I'm going to go insert the needle somewhere else, and then I'm going to go straight through the middle of the 3 weaved parts that I just did. This will make it really hard for the yarn to come undone right here. Now that I've done that, I need to get my scissors. And I'm going to cut, leaving in a little bit of a tail. And that's how you weave in ends. Then you can take your hat and turn it the other way. Here's the finished hat. When I measured it, it was 9.5 inches by 8 inches altogether. The end, and thank you for watching.